Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters. This is Locked Up Sports. It's the Mets 15-minute pregame show. We get you ready for Mets Phillies tonight. 7:10 first pitch out at Citi Field. Aaron Nola on the mound for the Phillies, 0-4 with a 6.65 ERA, and he's going up against Tyler McGill for the Mets, who's 2-2, lost his last two starts, but has a 1.4 ERA and has pitched well in all four games that he has started so far this season. The Mets, of course, coming off of a 7-4 win yesterday where they added on in the eighth inning, Soto with a 2-run double, Tyrod Taylor with a big RBI single, and that completed the 4-game sweep of the Cardinals. And the Mets continue to play well at Citi Field. They've been packing them in here. It's a hot ticket. It's an expensive ticket. They're 9-1 at Citi Field to start the season. And listen, they've won 4 straight. They're now a season high, 8 games over 500. And they're in the midst of a 13-game in 13 days string here. And they're at the end of it. They're 7-3 in the first 10. They got these 3 against the Phillies. And then they go for a brief road trip down to D.C. to play 3 against the Nationals. So the Mets, and again, at Citi Field, they haven't lost back-to-back games at Citi Field since July 31st of last year, where they lost to Minnesota and then the Oakland A's on consecutive days. And a lot of it has to do with the pitching. This pitching staff has been incredible. The starting pitchers have not allowed a home run now in 9 games. Of course, they needed Nimmo to bring one back yesterday, but hey, he did bring it back. He kept the streak alive, so they haven't allowed a home run in 9 games. And even more impressive than that is in the 22 games that the Mets have played this season, they've only allowed 9 home runs as a team. So that by far leads the major leagues. They lead the major leagues in ERA as a staff. We know how good the bullpen was in the beginning of the season. Well, the starting staff has been excellent. Now, in this part of the season, it's since the bullpens come back to earth a little bit. But listen, they not allowing home runs, 9 straight games. They've only allowed 9 in the 22 games that they've played. They have a 15-7 record. They're 2 games clear of the Phillies, who are in second place with a 13-9 record. The Phillies coming off, like we said before, winning 2 out of 3 against the Marlins, but it felt like a series that they should have won. They should have swept because they were up 4-1 in the 7th inning. They blew the lead. They lost to the Marlins, so the bullpen faltered for the Phillies late, and that gave the Marlins a win. And the Mets, of course, coming off the sweep of the St. Louis Cardinals right here at Citi Field, and it's been just a party atmosphere here at Citi Field. They, like I said, sellout crowd after sellout crowd. It's a hot ticket. It's an expensive ticket, and they've been getting clutch performances by Pete Alonso, of course, being one of them. He's ranked first in the league in slugging. He's second in OPS. He's second in RBIs. He's tied for second in doubles with 9 doubles. Pete Alonso is, and that's not even mentioning the home runs. Those are all the other things. The home runs and the RBIs, he's just been, and now you got Soto coming through. Listen, they booed Soto a little bit. There was some boos on Thursday night. And that was a lively crowd Thursday night. And you had the walk-off home run from Lindor. And that kind of made the boo birds take back seat. But there were some boos, and I think the Mets fans kind of, came to their senses a bit. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we booing this guy? He's gonna be a great player for this team. He's gonna be here for 15 years. You're talking 3 weeks into the season, 21 games. At that point, only 19 games into the season, and you're already booing him. So another bright spot in this 10-game stretch that the Mets have been on with a 7-3 has been Luis Angel Acuna. He's hit safely in 8 games. He's 11 for 28 in the last 10 games. He's hitting .393. He scored 8 runs, 4 doubles, 3 walks, 1 RBI. He has a .452 OBP on base percentage during these 10 games. And he is just, you know what? When McNeil comes back, it's not whether you send Acuna down. I don't think we're getting to a point now where McNeil, you're going to find some playing time for McNeil. It might be in center field. It might be at second base. But Acuna is winning the job of the second baseman while he's going to take this job if he keeps this up. Now, he's made some, dumb plays, but that's going to happen. Most of them have been aggressive. He overslid third base on Friday night. He got called out there. He's, been in the wrong position on a couple cutoff plays that might have cost the Mets a base or a run here or there, but that's going to happen when you have young kids. He plays the game with enthusiasm. He's really grasping on to learning and improving, and the numbers show it. And like I said, over these last 10 games, he has just been on fire. He's, like I said, 11 for 28, 393, scored 8 runs, 4 doubles. You can't go wrong with that. And he might be stealing this job from McNeil. Now, McNeil will still get playing time because Siri got hurt. Now, Tyrod Taylor and maybe McNeil kind of platoon in center field. And we'll see how McNeil hits when he gets back. But I think Beatty's still, the odd man out here. He's still probably going to go down, to the minors when McNeil does come back. But we'll see how that plays out over the next week or so here with Acuna and McNeil and Beatty, and we'll see what it's gonna sort itself out is what it's gonna really do. So another big bright spot lately in the last 4 games, and that's in that Cardinals series, was Francisco Lindor, and the Phillies know all about Francisco Lindor because the last time they were here was in Game 4 of the NLDS, and we all know what happened there. 6th inning, Francisco Lindor at the plate.
1 to Lindor. Now the pitch. Swing and a drive towards the gap in right center. It's pretty deep. It's back near the wall. It's gone. It's gone. Francisco Lindor. He may have just outdone himself. He has hit a grand slam into the Phillies bullpen in right center field. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-1. They were famished for the big hit all night, and Francisco Lindor just provided a feast. Mets 4, Phillies 1 here in the 6th inning.
So Howie Rose on the call there. Game 4 of the NLDS. The Mets went on to win by that very score, 4-1, eliminating the Phillies and sending the Mets to the NLCS, where they would lose in 6 games to the Dodgers. But that's the last time the Phillies and the Mets played each other, the last time the Phillies were here in this ballpark, and that's what happened. So the reporters asked Brandon Nimmo this morning what he thought about this series coming up with the Mets and the Phillies.
For us, it's a big series. They're a very good team, and we know that, and we knew that from last year. We know that this year. They even improved this offseason and made some great additions. So, this is going to be a fun series, and it is early, but every game counts, and we're going to go out there. We're going to try and win tomorrow, and but I expect it to be high energy. I expect it to be good baseball, and it's going to be star-studded. So I think the fans should enjoy it.
And it should be fun. It's the first kind of the big series, I guess, if you want to call it that. It is. It's still April. But, it's the Mets, it's the Phillies. They're first place, second place. Both teams are playing pretty good. The Mets are playing better. And it's always a big series when the Phillies come to town. Listen, overall, the Mets, I guess in the all-time series, the Mets are leading 77 in the regular season, at least. The Mets are 77-59 since Citi Field opened in 2009 against the Phillies. So they've had the better of the rivalry here at Citi Field. And we were talking about Lindor, of course, with the walk-off home run in the first game of the series against the Cardinals. And, just a wild scene here that night. That was a back-and-forth game that the Mets kept falling behind, coming back. They finally took the lead. And then Brazoban blew the save in the 9th. And Lindor, of course, came up and he put it into the second deck and he sent everybody home happy that night. And that just kind of springboarded the Mets for the rest of the series, because Lindor saved the game on Saturday as well, with the Mets having a 2-0 lead and Lindor having to go behind second base, cross paths with Acuna, make the play, spin, and throw the guy out at first base with a perfect throw to Alonso to save 2 runs and keep the Mets with a 2-0 lead. They would go into the bottom of the 8th where Alonso hit a home run, and the Mets won that game 3-0. Like we said, they're 9-1 at home so far this season, and they've just been playing excellent. Tomorrow, you got the rest of the series it goes like this. It's they got tomorrow night, and then they got Wednesday afternoon, and that's a getaway day. And then the Mets go down to D.C. for 3 games before coming back here. You got Christopher Sanchez is scheduled to pitch tomorrow, 2-0 with a 2.96 ERA. And then for the Mets, they'll be countering with Griffin Canning, who has a 2-1 record with a 3.43 ERA. And then the Mets will face their old buddy on Wednesday afternoon, Zach Wheeler, and he will pitch against David Peterson, who is 1-1 with a 3.27. Wheeler, 2-1 with a 3.73. Has not really hit his stride yet, but Wheeler, we know, is one of the better pitchers in baseball. And he can get out there and throw a gem anytime he takes the mound. And you know there's a little extra oomph with it when he is pitching here at Citi Field against the Mets. And so that's what's going on. Mets and Phillies tonight, Citi Field. It should be a good one. The weather is, it's not great. It's a little chilly. It's going to be in the 50s. It's been cloudy all day. Sun has peeked out here and there, but it's not going to be too cold. But it's it's not going to be the 80 degrees that we had the last couple days when the Mets with packed out crowds. But they sold this place out on Thursday and Friday night last week, and it was about this weather. It might even have been colder, in the upper 40s, 50s. It still might get down there tonight, but we'll see how it goes. So Mets and Phillies, first of 3 tonight from Citi Field. First pitch, 7:10. Aaron Nola against Tyler McGill. It should be a good one, folks. You could watch the game on SNY. You could listen to it on Odyssey Mets Radio, 880 AM or 92.3 FM HD2. That's where you can find Howie Rose, Keith Rad, and of course Gary, Keith, and Ron on SNY will be calling the game. Mets and Phillies. First game of the 3 games set as the Mets continue on the homestand. They're perfect so far, 4-0. They try and make it 5-0 tonight. So enjoy the game, everybody. We'll be back later with some Mets, some Knicks as well. Of course, the Knicks game 2 tonight at the Garden against the Pistons as they try to take a 2-0 series lead. We will have all that coverage as well tonight about everything that goes on in this Mets game and, of course, in the Knicks game. So from the Brian Gunzel Studios, don't forget, rate, review, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, whether you're listening on the audio side or watching on YouTube. Always visit our website, www.lockedupsports.net, lockedupsports.net. Enjoy the games tonight, everybody. I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studio. See ya.